Hello there guys and welcome to Mad Doc Minis. In this video I'm going to build a halfling army for Warhammer 40,000, or Ratlings as they're called in the official 40k lore. Recently things have gotten a little bit more exciting on the Ratling scene with the upcoming release of the Ratling Kill Team, which is wonderful, but it's not quite enough to constitute a whole army. So I reached out to the guys at Max Milli and TT Combat and they sent me through some beautiful miniatures. Check these out. They sent me this infantry squad. Now, this is a female squad I've got here, and they are beautifully detailed. And they do follow a slightly different aesthetic to the official 40k Ratlings. They really are more aligned to the fantasy trope of a halfling. So they've got little pot bellies, chubby faces, they're quite cheerful and a little bit comedic. And I really love all those things. I like a bit of that with my 40ks. They're a bit less serious than the official Ratlings, and I appreciate that. So I'm really grateful to receive this 10-man squad, or 10-woman squad, I should say. I've also got this guy here who's really cool. He's a bit like Doc Ock from Spider-Man. He's up on mechanical arms, and he's a little bit of a proxy, really, for a tech priest. He's called a tech lord, and he looks really good when he's all built up, so stay tuned for that. They also sent me this, which is the heavy tank of the Half Guard. That's what they're called, the Half Guard. And this thing's beautiful. It's got a little bit of a mixture of aesthetics going on here. We've got kind of World War I styled side panels here and tracks, but we've also got more of a kind of contemporary hull here and really quite a futuristic turret and turret armaments as well. So it kind of straddles all three main eras of armoured kind of a vehicle there, really. And for a really unique look at the end of it, it just looks really nice. It's its own thing. It's separate from anything else that, say, 40k does. It's quite squat and short, which is appropriate for halflings, and I really love it. There's a good selection of weapons in here. You can see you've got loads of extras in there. Look, the turret weapons for the heavy tank are this large bore cannon here. You've also got this really sexy looking triple Gatling cannon, and that's just plus overkill, that thing, isn't it? And you've also got a very futuristic looking plasma cannon as well, quite flattened out, really nice and unusual looking. So I'm really grateful to receive all that stuff from TT Combat and Max Mini, but it wasn't enough, guys. As soon as I saw this stuff, I had to get more. I was in love with what I saw. So I went a bit crazy and just kind of bought a whole army off of these guys. So I supplemented the infantry heavily. I got 2 more infantry squads, male squads this time, very similar to the female squads, just male rather than female. And they're really nice looking. All the bases all supplied in the back of the packaging there. These ones actually come with MDF bases. Most of the other infantry that I got came with plastic bases. They're all the same size, 25mm bases. Doesn't bother me at all, but be aware there may be a little bit of a mixture. Also here I have a heavy weapons squad. This is really proxying las cannon heavy weapon teams, and there's a whole squad of 3 in there. I've also got these snipers, which I just couldn't resist in their camouflage cloaks. Those are kind of proper Ratlings, I guess, really. So I've got 5 of those. And I also got a 5-person command section here with a standard bearer, a commander, and a few specialists. So that's really, really nice. Now I supplemented the vehicles as well. I got this thing here. Now this is the core tank, which is the kind of main battle tank, more or less the same tank, just a different selection of armaments. So I decided to get that one. And I also got the APC, the Armoured Personnel Carrier, which is a really nice looking vehicle, possibly my favourite miniature out of the whole collection here. So I will show you in more detail those later, guys. But yes, I did go a bit nuts. I just loved what I saw and I decided to go whole hog here. So stay tuned. I'm not going to go massively into depth on construction or painting because you're not going to learn anything here. This is all very easy to put together, but I will just open a packet of infantry so you can get a closer look. So open the packet, really nicely and well packaged there. This is a male infantry squad, so you can see I've got 25mm MDF bases with this one. As I said, there's a mixture of plastic bases and MDF bases. I believe they're moving towards plastic, but I got MDF bases with this one. Doesn't bother me at all, but if it bothers you, just be aware of that, or maybe contact the guys directly to make sure you get what you want. But here, look, you can see there's very little tidying up to do. There's a couple of little kind of almost like mold lines or little bits of flash on the resin there. And there's just a little bit of tidying up to do on the bottom of the feet. but that really is it. Bearing in mind they're in one piece, they go together very quickly, guys. And I started in earnest and built the whole army up. I was really excited. So I've got all my infantry squads at the back there. Haven't built the heavy weapons squads at this stage, but you can see it's really starting to look good. I've got all the tanks put together as well. And there's just a really nice cohesive look to this force. So a lot of the miniatures came with these plastic slotter bases. I actually substituted mine out for flat bases because I had enough of those to make that work. But just be aware that you get slotter bases with some of them as well. So here's the Tech Lord. I mounted him on a slightly larger base because it seemed to work a little bit better. This is a larger base than you get with the kit, and that sits on there really well, and he's really, really cool looking. Can't decide how I'm going to paint him yet, but we will get there. And yeah, I've got the snipers and the command squad at the front there. I really love the vehicles in this range of miniatures, and I've gone quite conservatively here using the Demolisher cannon on this heavy tank, which was the one that TT Combat initially sent me. I've got lots of leftover weapon options and sponson options there, as you can see, but this cannon's quite handsome looking. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the Studio Ghibli film Nausicaa, with the kind of Tolmekian tanks. They're a bit different. They've got like a fixed kind of stubby cannon on the front, but for some reason I'm just getting those vibes from this kit when I use that cannon option. Now, if you were to use any of the other options in the heavy tank kit, you do get extra little bits to use as well. So with the big kind of futuristic plasma cannon here, which is kind of broad and flat looking, which I really like, it's quite different, I like that. You get these kind of charging coils or power cells or some such that can be attached on the back of the turret, a little bit like you get with the Lehman Russ kit, actually, with the plasma cannon on that. So what you do is you attach the plasma cannon in the weapon slot on front there, and then you can attach the optional kind of plasma array or whatever you want to call it on the back of the turret, like so. Just a little bit of an extra, quite characterful, quite nice. And with the big triple Gatling cannon, similarly, you get an attachment to go onto the back of the turret. I was very close to using this one, guys. It's an exceptional looking weapon, but it's definitely going in the bits box for later use, that one. But you get these big ammunition drums with it that can go onto the back of the turret like so. So with the heavy tank, you just get these, you know, special weapon options and a little bit extra going on in there compared to the core tank. With the heavy tank, I've gone for the sponson options as well, just to give it a bit of differentiation between the core tank. As you can see on the left, that one has gone without, just to make them look a little bit different, really. But I'm going to move on now and talk a little bit about the infantry in a more completed form when they're all painted up and nice. Now here, you can see that I've painted up the whole kind of infantry section here, and I wanted to give you a closer look at the heavy weapons teams. Aren't they great? Look at that. They're just wonderful, aren't they? And you can see here, look, the infantry have come up really, really nice. This is all very basic tabletop standard painting, guys. Nothing glamorous here at all. I wanted to get them done quite quickly because I was just so excited to have them, really. And some of them have great little expressions on their faces as well. We've got a angry little guy somewhere. Where is he? He's over here somewhere. Have a look at this. I don't know if you can see that on the screen, but he's got a little grimace on his face. I just love it. Little chubby faces, little pot bellies, just exactly what halflings are supposed to be, really. So you've got the female squad here. You've got some wonderful little miniatures in the female squad. You've got a sergeant or leader there with a power sword and a mechanical arm. Really, really nice. You can see her hair going down her back. And you've also got a really good, I think it's a kind of like a flamer this one's carrying, and you can see the little goggles that she's got on and the little fuel canister on the back there. So they're really characterful, beautiful little miniatures and lots of fun, really. And you can see we've got the other two squads here. We've got the command squad, and you've got a leader there, which is definitely kind of definitely parodying Imperial Guard officer. And we've got a standard bearer, which I've done a pretty bad job of doing the standard, but, you know, kept it quite simple. Really, really nice looking. And you've got a couple of other specialists in that squad as well. So you've got a kind of veteran here with a grenade launcher. He looks really, really cool. And you've got a medic as well. And the medics are probably my favourite, actually. I love the little medical bag he's got. And he's got all his tools and a surgeon's saw on his back, which is really, really fun. And you've also got a communication specialist as well with a comms array on his back. So that's really nice. The command squad in particular was really fun to put together. Then you've got the snipers. You've got three variants of sniper. You've got one standing, or he's kind of standing up with a foot up on a rock here. You've got two of those. And you've also got a lying down version, which kind of overhangs the base. This is the way I've done it. I guess you could make them on a longer base or something, but I don't mind this. I'm quite happy with that. You also get 2 of those ones, and you get 1 kneeling, which is probably my favorite. I think that one just looks really, really good. So there you go, guys. That's the infantry. We'll have a closer look at the tanks next. I'm kind of in love with the tanks, if I'm honest. So here we have the heavy tank again, which I showed you in the earlier footage, all painted up, very basic paint job, guys, nothing spectacular, as I keep saying here. But it looks really nice with a bit of weathering on it, and it's just quite different from anything else. So it's definitely its own thing, which I appreciate. And yeah, lovely, lovely looking tank. And the sponsons really pop on that one. So looking at the core battle tank, I've gone with quite conventional armaments here. So I guess that would be proxying a Vanquisher cannon, really. I think that's really handsome looking without the sponsons, actually. I think that looks really, really nice. And yeah, just really, really impressed with it. Comes with the same sponson and hull-mounted weapon options as the heavy tank, just a different set of options for the turret armament. And this here, isn't this a wonderful looking vehicle? This is the APC for the Half Guard. Really, really nice looking vehicle. Probably my favourite thing in the whole collection. So it's really nice, guys. And we will have a little look at the Tech Lord next. So here he is, the Tech Lord miniature, and isn't he great? It's just a wonderful little miniature, this, very characterful, and the whole Doc Ock thing kind of had me sold, if I'm honest. It's just, you know, it just looks great. So he's got a kind of power axe thing going on there. You can see the little backpack on the rear where all the arms come out. And just to let you know as well, remember that I have actually mounted that on a larger base than was provided with the miniature. I just thought it sat a bit nicer on a 32mm base. I believe that's the size of that one. And yeah, really, really nice. And the interesting thing about this one is I think he would be a really good stand-in in an Imperial Guard formation, or even, you know, an AdMech formation as a tech priest, or something a bit different. You know, the idea of his kind of small stature, is there something going on there? Is there a little bit of a story behind that? It just opens up all sorts of interesting possibilities. So really happy to get this guy. Here's the rest of the army again, guys. I had a blast putting these together, and it was all quite cost effective at the end of the day. Most of this was about half the price of the GW equivalents if you compare with something like Astra Militarum. So there you go. If you've enjoyed the content, please consider liking and sharing. It really does help my little channel to grow. And if you are not already subscribed, please consider giving us a sub. I really do appreciate all the support, and I will catch you in another video soon. Take care, guys. Cheers.